14 seconds later, Ronda Rousey is still the undefeated women's champion in the UFC. And the crazy shit about this was that Cat Zingano was supposed to be the test for Ronda Rousey, right? I mean, she fought some spoon-fed opponents. Basically, let me start from the beginning. She was supposed to fight Cris Cyborg in Strikeforce, right? Dana White was like, whoa, hold up, hold up. Let me make some money off this gorgeous woman, right? I don't think she's gorgeous by the record, but Dana White does. Let's make some money off this gorgeous woman. Let's not put her in the danger zone so quickly and milk the cow, so to speak, right? So he ends Strikeforce, immediately signs Ronda Rousey, and gives her the belt before she even fights an opponent. Then she fights some spoon-fed opponents, back to where we started, right? Then she fights the spoon-fed opponents. Then there was Miesha Tate, whom I didn't think had the skills to beat Ronda Rousey, but it was a marketable fight because it's two gorgeous women, you know what I'm saying, going head-to-head in a brutal combat sport, right? Very marketable. Well, Ronda Rousey dispatches of her very easily by armbar like she beats everyone else, and that's exactly what I predicted at the time. Then there was the rematch, right? And in the rematch, Miesha Tate had a better game plan. She said, hey, let's not fucking run at a judo master. You know what I'm saying? You don't run at a fucking judo master because they use your momentum against you. That's how they get you on the ground. A la Steven Seagal, right? Steven Seagal is a mixture of Aikido and judo, right? But you see his judo, you remember his fights, motherfucking Above the Law, Out for Justice. Remember in Out for Justice, William Forsythe is running at him and shit, and he just fucking uses his momentum against him and throws him through the goddamn table, right? That's judo. They don't have to move when their opponent is running at them. They use that person's momentum and flip them to the fucking canvas, right? Miesha Tate was like, yo, I can't do that this time. I'm going to try to take her in the later rounds. And she did so successfully. And in that success, we saw Ronda Rousey's kryptonite, right? Ronda Rousey, excuse me, her kryptonite, right? And that is her stamina. Also, if she's forced to strike, mind you, against a person like Miesha Tate, somebody she's bigger than and stronger than, her striking looked decent, right? But I beg to differ if her striking will look decent against an opponent, that's bigger and stronger, right? Cat Zingano was supposed to be that test, but she did exactly what she should not have done as soon as the fucking bell rang, and that was run at a judo master. And you saw what happened. Instantly flipped to the canvas and armbarred in 14 seconds. The funny shit is, after the fight, Ronda Rousey was like, yo, I feel bad for you. I'm willing to give you an immediate rematch. Like, completely on some disrespectful shit. Now, I'm not saying what Ronda Rousey is saying is disrespectful per se, right? It's just the principle. If you're a fighter, you don't want somebody to give you something because they felt bad for you in a loss. You know what I'm saying? It's like the bully beat the shit out of the nerd, and it was fulfilling while committing the act. But after the fact, the bully was like, damn, I feel bad about that. I should have never did that. I'm way bigger. I'm way superior. My bad, dog. That's basically what Ronda Rousey did. I'm more of a superior fighter than you. My bad, yo. I shouldn't have came at you like that. You know what I'm saying? That's exactly what she's doing, right? I hope this fight doesn't happen. I want Cat Zingano in a fucking 8-month training regimen to devise a different strategy, use her size and her strength to her advantage, and not fucking run at a judo master, right? In this type of rematch, if it were to come to fruition. Also, after this fight, man, we're starting to see marketing of Ronda Rousey's movie that she's starring in. It's called Mile 22, where she's going to be a CIA operative teaming up with another guy, Indian guy, and they're both going to be battling corruption. I mean, all of a sudden, now we have all these articles and shit coming out about Ronda Rousey being in a movie, which she was probably already doing before this. But this fight just catapulted the ability to market this movie. I mean, her fucking stock just rose completely because, like I said, this was supposed to be her first major test, right? But see, for me, I did want to see this fight. I thought it would be a more competitive fight, but I still had Ronda Rousey winning it. I don't see anybody beating Ronda Rousey right now except for one person, and I'll get to that person in a minute. But recently, Brazilian fighter Beth Correa, 9-0, 2 KOs, 7 wins by decision, right? She's basically gone on record saying that, Ronda Rousey is a selfish champion. She only cares about herself, looking good, making movies, blah, 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 etc., etc. I wouldn't be that kind of champion. Well, if these two fought, Beth Correa is a good fighter. I think she needs to enhance her overall abilities. She's another good fighter on the ground. But she doesn't have enough power for me. And I think that power is what's going to beat Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey is not that fucking strong. I mean, fuck with the deception that we're seeing, her flipping her opponents all over the ring. Mind you, it's because she's using their momentum against them. And Ronda Rousey's fought a lot of people who are smaller than her. She can actually move up in weight. And it's already been discussed against opponent question mark, who I'm about to get to next, right? But she's actually big for her division. And she's bigger than all of the people that she's been fighting, with the exception of Cat Zingano. But then again, like I said, she didn't have to show power or strength in this fight. She just used her momentum against her. I think Beth Correa, she looks like she's bigger than Ronda Rousey. I'm just afraid, for her sake, that she doesn't have the power to dismantle Ronda Rousey in the octagon. And also there's talks about Gina Carano fighting her. You know what I'm saying? I don't like that fight. A lot of people do. Once again, it's another a fight that can be marketed very easily because it's two gorgeous women fighting. I don't think that's a good fight. Gina Carano, she may have been training outside the octagon, but she hasn't been in the octagon since she got mollywopped by Cris Cyborg in the first round in Strikeforce. And that's been like 4 years, I believe, or 3 years, something to that nature, right? She's rusty. It doesn't matter what you do outside the octagon. There's only special fighters in all professional fighting sports, right? There's only a few special fighters that can not fight for a long time and then get back in the ring or octagon and, be able to look as if they had never left it. And I don't think Gina Carano is one of those fighters, especially given the fact that she got her ass toe up in her last fight in the octagon. So I don't like that fight, man. I think she needs to come in and get about 4 or 5 fights, work her way up the rankings like everybody else. Stop trying to market this shit just because these females look good to you, Dana. I mean, come on, man. You're not fooling nobody. You know what I'm saying? Which leads me to fighter question mark, who I think beats Ronda Rousey, and that's Cris Cyborg. Back in 2013, I believe it was, or 2012, I can't remember. But it was like March of that year, because they already had the fucking fight up. They had it up like September of the previous year when the fight was announced. They already had the odds up on my favorite my favorite website I like to use to bet on, right? And they had the odds up like 6 months in advance. And Ronda Rousey was the underdog. I'm sorry, Cris Cyborg was the underdog. Ronda Rousey was the favorite. Man, I had $200 on Cris Cyborg because I already knew, and the fight was to be in Strikeforce, as I stated earlier. I already knew it was going to happen. Cris Cyborg is too goddamn powerful, right? She's too strategic and how she uses her aggression. She's not like a Cat Zingano, or how Cat Zingano was in this fight, where she just runs out there, head down, fist flailing, you know what I'm saying, hoping for the best. No, Cris Cyborg's not like that. She's strategic in how she applies her aggression. On top of that, if she's going to be strategic with her aggression, then there is no momentum that Ronda Rousey can rely on to get Cris Cyborg on the mat, right? So she's going to have to go to a plan B, which I stated earlier. I don't think she has a plan B. That's why you always see her defeating opponents the same way. Mind you, it's been working for her. I'm not saying that she should stop. But based on my analysis of her fighting style and what she does in the ring, especially against Miesha Tate in the rematch, that told me a whole lot of shit about Ronda Rousey. That's really all she's looking for, because that's really all she can do, in my opinion. And until she proves me wrong, I'm gonna stand by that, no matter who the fuck tells me what. I'm analyzing these fights just as good as anyone else. You know what I'm saying? So, if Cris Cyborg is not applying that relentless, disgusting, non-careful pressure, just wild in the octagon, then there's nothing that Ronda Rousey can rely on. There's no momentum, over an overzealous ego, so to speak, that she can rely on in the ring with that aggression. And I think possibly Cris Cyborg knocks her the fuck out, in my opinion. But it's a fight that I want to see. And right now, man, to be honest with you, with Dana White milking the shit out of Ronda Rousey, marketing her looks, you know what I'm saying? Because her looks appeal to a certain crowd, you know what I'm saying? And that certain crowd just happens to be the majority of UFC fans, you know what I'm saying? I'm comparing her to Layla Ali right now. She's the best woman fighter in MMA. Just as Layla Ali was the best woman fighter in boxing, right? But see, they're not only comparable for that reason. They're comparable because they're both being shielded away from an opponent that can beat them. In Layla Ali's case, she was heavily shielded from Ann Wolfe. Now, for those of you who don't know who Ann Wolfe is, boxer James Kirkland, who's going to be fighting Canelo Alvarez in April, right? His trainer, Ann Wolfe, based out of Austin, Texas. She was, in my opinion, the best female fighter ever. She was better than Layla Ali. Layla Ali knew this. That's why she stayed the fuck away from her. If you give Layla Ali an interview, right, today, and ask her the question why she didn't fight Ann Wolfe, she'll stray away from it. She will not answer that question directly. And she never has. Same thing with fucking Ronda Rousey. Right now, her trainer's doing all the talking for why Ronda Rousey has not fought Cris Cyborg. Literally, in women's MMA, the Cris Cyborg Ronda Rousey fight is just as fucking big, or, as far as MMA. I'm not talking about, bringing in all the casuals. So I don't want anybody to be like, oh, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. That's not what I'm saying. As far as women's MMA, it's as big as the Manny Pacquiao-Floyd Mayweather fight. Because you could talk to anyone, right? Especially MMA fans. They want to see that shit. You talk to a casual fan, tell them who Ronda Rousey is, tell them who fucking Cris Cyborg is. They'll be like, oh, hell yeah, I'd like to see that. Show them some clips of both of them. They'll be like, hell yeah, I'd like to see that. I don't know anyone that will say, nah, fuck that fight. You know what I'm saying? And, recently, Ronda Rousey's trainer is doing all the talking, basically saying that we're overrating Cris Cyborg. Hey, man, it is what it is. We understand. You don't want to put her, you know what I'm saying, in the danger zone. Just as Dana White didn't want to put her in the danger zone before he started milking that money out of her ass when they were supposed to fight in Strikeforce. I completely understand. Little tidbit for y'all before I close out. Ronda Rousey's now 11-0, right? And 11 pro UFC fights. She has only been in the ring a little over 25 minutes. Look it up. She's only been in the ring a little over 25 minutes and 11 fights. That's complete domination. Let's give her a fucking opponent now. What do y'all think? Do what you do in the comment section. Be real. This is real talk for real fans. 1.